Hello, everybody, and welcome to another video on this Model United Nations training series. In this video, we're going to talk about what exactly is a moderated caucus, what are unmoderated caucuses, how do you frame your topics, how do you participate in a mod and an unmod, and so on and so forth. My name is Kevin, and I've been training students in personality development and oratory activities over more than the past 10 years. So let's dive into it. So, what are moderated caucuses? The word caucus by itself just means meeting to discuss. So, what exactly are we discussing here in a model UN? It's basically a space where you can have conversations that are more specific. Like in the general speakers list, you're allowed to bring whatever is on your mind based on what is your research, right? But in a moderated caucus, what you do is essentially is that you break these wide topics down into smaller topics that you want to discuss in that committee room. May it be causes, may it be effects, may it be solutions, so on and so forth. So there are two types of caucuses. One is your moderated caucus, where the chairperson themselves will be moderating this entire process of conversation that will happen. And then you have the unmoderated caucus, where you can get up, move around, and speak to one another. So let's dive into it and understand better what exactly is this moderated caucus. So, a moderated caucus, whenever you move into a moderated caucus, there are three things that you have to essentially mention. First is that the total time of how long you want this moderated caucus to go on for. Now, understand this, any section of a United Nations conference does not go on for more than 20 minutes. That means a moderated caucus also, you can specify a total time of maximum only 20 minutes. And of course, you can ask for an extension if the chair permits it. The next is a per speaker time. So, how long would you want each individual speaker to speak for about or on the basis of this particular agenda that you have selected? So, the per speaker time, remember, should always be equally divisible by the total time. If not, you're actually wasting committee time, right? Because there'll be a couple of seconds that will be left extra. Then we come to understand what is the agenda. Now, for your agenda, remember, your agenda should always be relevant. So, based on what the major umbrella or what your bigger topic is, you now speak about more specific and exact topics that you want to discuss and you want to bring an outcome to in a moderated caucus. So I have a couple of tips that you can follow for a moderated caucus. Starts with always pick up topics that the majority of individuals in the room want to discuss. Why? Because most likely that is a concern, a common concern for everyone in that room. Also, try getting recognized in the mod either in the start or in the very end. Now, this is a psychological trick of conversation because what initially and at the further end, people tend to pay more attention to conversation. So, always try to get recognized in the start or in the very end. Now, when you're framing your language for your moderated caucus, keep it very simple and very crisp. I'll tell you why. In all the experience of Model UN that we've had, most moderated caucus topics that are very complicated and have a lot of jargon in it usually get rejected because one, the people, your fellow delegates who are listening to you, they are not able to comprehend it, they are not able to process what exactly you want to discuss. That is why keep your agendas very crisp and simple. Later on, if you want to go on and go into much depth of what you want to speak about, that is fine, do that in your speech, but keep your agenda simple. Now, you'll tell me, okay, that Kevin, fine, that's fine. We will have these kind of conversations, but how do we make or come up with these good, crisp topics? For that, before you move to the MUN room, anticipate. Break down your research into multiple potential topics that you know that will be possible. That okay, I can make a moderated caucus out of this. This is something that will get discussed in the room. This is something that I think people will agree upon. Okay. Now, and another key to all this is ask a lot of questions. Ask a lot of questions. Ask good, strong, clear cut questions in your moderated caucuses whenever you get the time to ask by raising your POIs. Then let's talk about unmoderated caucus. Unmoderated caucus is simple, is that you once you raise an unmoderated caucus, you can get up, you can move freely across the rooms, you can talk to other delegates, you can I would try and understand their motives, you can sit and you can make a draft resolution, you can sit and or rather you can talk to them and try to poach them into forming your blocks together and all that. So there is no specific agenda. It is used for informal discussions, but about what you're actually discussing. It's used for working on documentation purposes. Again, for this also, the total time is 20 minutes and can be extended by the discretion of the chair. That being said, a few tips for an unmoderated caucus is lobby well with your other delegates. Go out there, speak to one another, work on making the document. If you work yourself on making the document, you will attract people to come and say, hey, okay, could you add my points into this? Or you can go out there and say, hey, listen, I'm working on a document. Would you like to add an input and then form your blog? Pull in signatories. The more number of signatories, the more support you have for your paper. Whether they vote for it or not is a secondary thing, and that we can come to more when we talk about strategy. But pull in more signatories. Go and have these conversations. Collaborate with other delegates to decide what you want as a common moderated caucus topic. So then you can discuss those in the formal space. But if you don't have any of it in mind, you don't know what the others want to discuss, and you'll not be able to do anything, right? So make sure that you have these discussions in your unmods and form collaborative strategies. Collaborate with other delegates to form strategies, form structures, form frameworks so that you can be implemented. That being said, folks, this is all about moderated and unmoderated caucuses. I hope this video helped you out, for especially for the newcomers and the first time mothers in the room. And tell me in the comment section how you like this video. If you want to reach out to me in any way, my email address and my Instagram handle is somewhere up here. And till then, keep money. Have a great day.